tell you guys. 3. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Libra Reviews. I am Charlene. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. So I am here to talk about Shamea. That bitch not your friend. Okay? That bitch not your friend. You know I had to sing a little bit because you know Shamea, she always got to sing. Any chance Shamea gets to sing, Shamea's gonna sing. She's like, look, y'all gonna know I sing and y'all gonna know I put out music. But yeah, yo, I'm here to talk about Shamea Morton, I think that's her last name, and Porsha Williams in Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I'm not really doing like a structured review of the show. I just felt inspired to do a video about this particular section of the show. And I guess this is going to be for those who actually watch it because I'm not going by and explaining detail by detail. But Shamea, Porsha's not your friend. I mean, it's so crazy to see the evolution of Porsha and Shamea's dynamic from when we first got introduced to Shamea seasons ago, when Phaedra was still on the show, and Candy, I believe, and Cynthia and different ones. It's just interesting to see how their friendship has gone the way that it's gone. But it's actually, when you think about it, it's not really shocking. So for those of you who watch the show, we know that Shamea and Porsha, we are getting into the season where Shamea and Porsha's friendship is kind of falling apart, if not already falling apart. Now, what we've seen from the beginning of the show, at least to me, well, let's take it back. Let's take it back from when we first got introduced to Shamea. Now, when we first got introduced to Shamea, I believe this was around the time she was already divorced from her husband, Cordell, and Shamea was engaged to her now husband, I forget his name, but that African guy from Kenya. Shamea was always, at least to me, she seemed like a ride or die friend. When Porsha went through what she went through with Candy and Phaedra, and Porsha tried to act like a victim and tried to cry and try to fake like she didn't know what was going on and kind of threw Phaedra under the bus, even though Phaedra was never in the situation for sure. But it was interesting how Porsha kind of threw Phaedra under the bus in like a sneaky way and tried to like cry and act like she didn't know what was going on when, girl, you knew exactly what was going on. But Shamea was around kind of during that time, and Shamea did a very good job of just kind of like being Porsha's friend, always defending Porsha. Even at the reunion, when it got exposed that Phaedra and Porsha were the ones that were making up and spreading the rumor that Todd and Candy wanted to RAPE Porsha, Shamea was there the whole time. Shamea was there the whole time. She never chastised Porsha in front of her, at least not in front of us. She never chastised Porsha. She supported Porsha. She said, look, I was trying to tell you, like, stop messing with this girl. She had her back and she stood with her in that moment. It's interesting when you think back on it. This is for the real Real Housewives of Atlanta watchers. This is not for the people that kind of tune in here and there, but the real Housewives of Atlanta watchers. When Porsha broke down at that reunion, I don't even know what season it was. It might have been like season 8, season 8 or season 9. When Porsha broke down at that reunion and she walked off stage, Shamea followed her. And when Shamea followed her, she was trying to console Porsha, and Porsha didn't want to be bothered with her. And she went and she cried with her sister Lauren. I don't know. To me, it was always signs that Porsha was just a weirdo type friend. I can't even pinpoint it because we only know what we know and what we see. So I can't really say it's a jealousy thing or it's a dominating thing or Portia's just simply just selfish or she just was annoyed by Shamea. I don't know, but when I'm watching this season unfold and I go to thinking back at different things, I'm like, wow, Porsha never really respected Shamea, I feel like, as a friend. Like, you get what I'm saying? And then even during that scene, actually taking it back, Shamea had Portia's back during the reunion, even though Porsha sat on that season and let Phaedra spread that rumor about Shamea sleeping around with Candy and Todd, and she was engaged at the time. Shamea was engaged to be wed, and Porsha sat on that camera and let Phaedra dog her best friend that she's known since high school. And Shamea still had her back at that reunion, you know? So fast forward, all this stuff is going down. I found it interesting that after this last episode that Shamea was on Watch What Happens Live, and she said, I finally get it. I finally get it, you know? After 20 years, you still don't like my ass.
You got it.
How do you feel?
I got it now. I heard you.
How do you...
Between 20 years, you still don't like my ass.
And I was thinking, still? What do you mean still don't like me? It's giving that there was a point in time that Porsha did not like you. And then I guess you guys tried to get back cool and sweep things under the rug. And you're slowly but surely realizing, Porsha never really liked me like that. You get what I'm saying? Now, let's take it back to the beginning of the season as far as Porsha and Shamea is concerned. Porsha walked up on Shamea during her birthday party and she was getting her, what was it, a $400,000 Rolls Royce car? Porsha conveniently walks up in the middle of her receiving her gift, in the middle of the scene, in the middle of the midst of, you know, it being Shamea's moment, and walked in late, you know, and just was inconsiderate in that way. Then you fast forward to when Shamea was kind of sampling her songs and letting the ladies at the table listen, hey, here goes my song, and Porsha's like, oh, that's not Shamea, that's Drew. Like, you've known this girl for over 20 years. Like, you don't know what her voice sounds like? Just shady, petty, jealousy, weirdo, sneaky kind of vibes come into Porsha. Porsha seems like the type of friend that she'll be there for you. She'll buy you the most amazing gifts on your birthday. She'll be very thoughtful when she does things for you. But really, at the deep of her core, she really don't like you. Or she's envious of you. Or she wants to be the one with the most attention at all times, and when she's not getting it, it bothers her. You fast forward now to the show where Shamea had a conversation with Angela, and Shamea's like, look, I feel like Porsha's not supporting me. I feel like it's a one-sided friendship. Angela goes back and tells Porsha, of course, it's a show. Nobody's mad at Angela for that. It's a show. Angela goes back and tells Porsha, Porsha never called Shamea once she found out that Shamea had felt this way. And it all unfolded. They tried to have a conversation this last episode at Porsha's, you know, I guess, you know, a conversation at Porsha's photo shoot that she had. They tried to have a conversation there and it didn't go well. Porsha wasn't receiving it. Porsha was more so on the fact, like, I can't believe you talked behind my back. I can't believe you went to somebody else to talk about our friendship and didn't come to me. And this is what I do not like about certain people when they deal with issues. If I'm bringing you an issue, don't hop over the issue at hand and then change the trajectory of the conversation to how it's now hurting you. You can pull your friend aside and address the way that she's feeling, and then afterwards drag her, yoke her up by her collar and be like, girl, next time, talk to me next time. Like, don't talk about us to anybody else. But I had a situation that happened to me not recently, but I had a situation that happened to me where a friend had did something that I thought was very inappropriate. I thought it was very inappropriate, something that a friend had did. And I waited until after our little vacation or whatever you would call it, so to speak. And when I got home, I reached out to that friend and I said, hey, I didn't really like this. Instead of my friend saying, well, I didn't mean to make you feel that way or whatever, she immediately said, well, why didn't you say anything when it happened? Or why didn't you say anything, you know, while it happened? And I'm like, who cares about when I said what? I'm addressing it now and I'm coming to you. Don't skip over what I'm coming to you about because you're making it about you. And it's like, well, why didn't you come to me before? I don't give a damn if I came to you 6 months from now. I'm coming to you with an issue. So let's address the issue at hand. We can talk about the timeline that I come to you with my issues later. But right now, we are talking about what I feel like you've done to me. And I think, yeah, I could see how it could be a little irritating where it's just like, girl, like, You don't know this girl. You're talking to her about our friendship. Like, what's up with that? But you clearly didn't care that much because you didn't even reach out to Shamea. Angela and Porsha had that conversation where Angela had told Porsha how Shamea felt. And Porsha never reached out to her. It wasn't until later that Shamea even found out that Angela and Porsha had that conversation. So meanwhile, in the tuck, Porsha has like this, information in the back of her brain. And she's what, oh, hey girl. But the whole time, like, you really feel some type of way because you feel like she went behind your back. And I just feel like that's really whack. You know what I mean? But let's get to this whole comment that Shamea said on Watch What's Happened Live. When she was like, oh, I guess after 20 years, you still don't like my ass. What's up with that? I have a few theories about that. Here's the thing about Porsha and Shamea. They've known each other for a long time, since they were kids, essentially. They've known each other since they were in high school. And what it gives to me is that Porsha was always the more popular one, so to speak. And maybe that's a bad word, but it seems like for instance, Porsha comes from Hosea Williams' bloodline. Like, I think Hosea Williams, the civil rights activist from Atlanta, that's like her granddad or something, or her great granddad or something. So just automatically, Porsha, I feel like, was kind of thrusted into a certain environment, into a certain group of people, just based off of her family's legacy. And I don't know how Shamea grew up, but it seems as though, I may be wrong, but it seems as though Porsha and Shamea always grew up in a dynamic where Porsha was the granddaughter of Hosea Williams. Porsha was, the girl, this, the whatever. And Shamea was kind of like the girl playing in the background. And then when they became adults and Shamea got the husband and she got the money and she got the family and she's been with them for 10 years. And I think she was like a cheerleader. She was this and she was that. I think in Porsha's mind, she's like, well, hold on, wait, bitch. Because growing up, it was the granddaughter of Hosea Williams. I am, this, and I have a nice body, and I'm popular, and I'm Porsha Williams. You're just Shamea. Like, you're just like the ugly duckling Shamea. I'm not calling her ugly. I'm just saying, you're the ugly duckling Shamea. Like, I'm Porsha. So then as time goes on, and Shamea's here, but Porsha's here, but Shamea kind of starts, Porsha's going up too, but Shamea kind of starts, the dynamic, it feels weird to people. You get what I'm saying? And some people just want to be the main person. Some people want to be first. They want to be the best looking friend, the funniest friend in the group, this friend in the group. And when they don't get that, you'll see how they get to acting when they are the ones either used to getting certain things, and when they're not getting it anymore, but you're getting it, you'll see how your friend who was kind of on the pedestal kind of switch on you. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what it's giving me. And so for her to say, after 20 years, you still don't like my ass. Like, I don't know. It's giving a dynamic to where as though maybe something may have happened in the past and they weren't friends. And then they came back together to try to mend their friendship and just was never right after that. Or if Shamea kind of always sensed like, Porsha a little stink ass, and like she's a little like whatever, but that's my girl, that's my sister. Like, some people get like that. Some people get complacent in relationships, and it's just like, well, I mean, I've known them since 5th grade. Like, it just is what it is. But it's just like, no, like sometimes people outgrow people. Sometimes people move on, like, and it's not even necessarily beef, but people just like advance in life. You get what I'm saying? But it's given that either Porsha was used to being the friend in the front growing up, and then as time went on, Shamea began to be the friend in the front, or at least her on her level. Or it's giving something really bad happened between their friendship, and they tried to move past it as friends, but Shamea is learning, I don't think that this girl really likes me like that, and it's coming out more and more. Or it could be, third thing, or it could be Porsha is just jealous. Here's the thing with the jealous part. What I notice sometimes within certain relationships, certain dynamics, sometimes it's not even you as a person. It's really the other person, because as you have these friendships, these relationships, these family units or whatever, cousin relationships, whatever, you have these friendships and you've known these people for a long time and you grow up and you're living life and you're accomplishing things and, you know, whatever it may be, you know, you graduated from college, you know, you had a successful family, you got married, or just whatever you think is like success. As I feel like people start to climb and like becoming themselves, I think what it does is it puts a mirror to the person on the opposite side and it shows them what they're not doing. If I'm correct about Porsha was the granddaughter of Hosea Williams and she was this and Shamea was like the little raggedy friend on the side, if that is true, then it's not hard for me to believe that Porsha is used to being a certain type of way, but when she saw and when she sees that Shamea is shining and she may be in some ways kind of better in certain areas, it really bothers Porsha. Like, for instance, I know that Porsha tried to do a music career when she first got onto the show. It didn't really go anywhere. I know that she was on Candy's play, you know, kind of doing a singing gig. But now we see Shamea and she's belting and singing. She sings way better than Porsha. I mean, Porsha is amazing. Porsha's beautiful. She's bad. She's funny. Porsha has her qualities about her too. But I mean, it just is what it is. Shamea is a better singer than Porsha. So it's like Porsha sings, ah, and then Shamea sings, ah, and it's a voice for a voice. And Portia's like, damn, this bitch sings better than me. And then Porsha gets married to an African man. They're divorced within a year or two. Shamea marries her African man. She got one. That's her. She's married to the child of her dad. Porsha is a baby mama. Like, Porsha was with Dennis. She had his baby. And then she got with another guy who had multiple kids. And then she got married to him. When Shamea met her husband, she didn't have any children. And her husband didn't have any children. And they came together. And she's a multi-millionaire with a fresh family, no kids out of wedlock. Not judging anybody who has kids out of wedlock. I'm just saying, when people start accomplishing things, it puts a mirror up to your own self, especially if that friend was the raggedy friend back in the day. You see what I'm saying? And so it could be a little bit of that. But when Shamea said after 20 years, you still don't like my ass, that kind of throws me for a loop. But at the same time, it doesn't, because when you look at how they've interacted with each other from the time that we've met her with the Phaedra, Candy, and all that whole situation, we met Shamea and Porsha, it's always given shady. And that was going on 10 years ago, or 7 years ago, 6 years, whenever that was. I mean, that was years ago. And so, and Porsha was a little snaky and sneaky and slithering then when it came to Shamea and their dynamic. But I guess they got over it. Oh, and then the wedding situation. Porsha didn't go to Shamea's wedding. Jealous. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. It's just giving jealousy. It's just giving jealousy. Like, why would you not go to her wedding? She said that she would literally buy the ticket for you. She said, if you really want to come, like, I'll pay for everything for you. Porsha didn't have to pay for anything. It's giving hater vibes. This is giving hater vibes. It's just giving, I don't know. It's just giving hater vibes. So I'm interested to see what else this season holds, but stomach. But it's definitely given hateration, holleration in this dancery. So let's get it percolated. What's like no? One thing about me, I'm good for a good jingle, bitch, or I'm good for a good lyric. I'm gonna sing. But yeah, that's my little reviews. It's so crazy because I come on here and I make these videos and I'm like, oh, I really only want the video to be like 8 to 10 minutes. Child, it should be 20 minutes. But I hope it's some good, solid nuggets in this video. Either way, let me know. Comment, like, again, subscribe. And until next time, deuces.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I gotta be good.